All right. I was recently watching a documentary and they said something interesting, and I'm going to paraphrase it. I honestly didn't go back and rewatch it. I just jotted it down after I saw it. And there are some nations that are very ecologically rich, not economically, ecologically, right? Rich. And they also have been war torn during much of this world's industrial age
Yeah, you could
and
go to
never
Congo.
anywhere. No, I mean, it could be Africa, it could be South America.
Oh
There's
yeah,
plenty of
yeah.
places.
Okay, I was trying to jump the gun. I was trying to pull the rug. Go on.
No, I'm not. I'm actually not focusing on any particular country. I didn't want to get into
Oh,
that,
okay,
even though the documentary was focusing on one.
okay.
Um, and so while it was war torn during the industrial age, it never had the opportunity to pave over the land and like erect skyscrapers, create industrial zones, anything like that. Consequently, this has given them vast swaths of land left in pristine condition today. But it has also preserved these spaces long enough to arrive at a time today where we have a much better understanding. The world is much better suited with its ecological knowledge and awareness, its green technology, its clean technology, and sustainable practices to make very informed decisions about how to responsibly develop their nation. And it seems like this isn't just the silver lining, but an interesting story for a nation that might thrive in the next era of humanity as the climate shifts and ice sheets return and hinder some of the world's powers we've known in this current era post last ice age. So it sounds beautiful, right, when you're thinking about it in that way. And it's interesting to imagine how power dynamics might shift, meaning countries in the global south would become global superpowers. But I honestly can't help but think that today's wealthy nations will just colonize them in one way or another and to retain their status and on the global stage.
Yeah,
So then I had a thought of people hundreds or thousands of years into the future, and will they not care about any single country, but just be grateful that some human civilization on this planet preserved enough land to allow humans to survive whatever this climate change is going to bring us, and any colonization would be forgiven. It's like you don't feel it. You don't get all worked up about Egypt and Rome and Greece and the wars of antiquity. So I'm just curious, like what you think about like both of those kind of parts, the parts about whether or not this new era of climate change will bring prosperity to places that didn't have it before, but now have just kind of found themselves with these pristine lands that will be largely untouched by climate change. In fact, they may become more mild, where the rest of the world is suffering it from extreme conditions. And then also, is how would it be looked at in the future?
you remember when Johnny Rico was first recruited to join the Starship Troopers?
I
Do,
do.
do you remember when the newscaster interviews him and he delivers that fantastic line? Goes, it's like, what do you think about bug invasion or whatever? And he's like, well, I'm from Buenos Aires, and I say kill them all. The actor is like a white blonde kid who
Mm-hmm.
lives in the new United States, which is now encompassing the city of Buenos Aires in this future.
I
That's
think
my
that was
answer to
more.
you. That's my answer. I'm from Buenos
You know what that
Aires.
is, though, right? Isn't that like a Nazi reference because that's where a lot of them
Part of it.
relocated?
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
there's parts. Well, there's
but I hear
parts of
what
it.
you're
Yes.
saying. I hear
Well,
what
no,
you're
well,
saying.
there's parts of that. Yes, there's a lot of tongue in cheek going on in Starship Troopers, which is why it's like the best movie. Everyone should go out and see it. But that's my answer to you. I'm with a perfect American accent. I'm going to tell you right now.
That's fair.
I'm from the Democratic Peoples of Congo, and I say kill them all. Like that's how I view it. That's what it is. Because here's
That's
the
fair.
other
So
thing.
you think
Let's.
they'll just be colonized in one way or another? We'll
I
work
here's
out a
the here.
deal where we get to
No, because
we get
here's the thing.
we get a travel pass and we can just live
Oh
there
yeah,
and do
yeah. We'll
whatever.
definitely squeeze for like easy visas, but that's not the main issue. The main issue that I'm going to ask you is why would you, if you have these pristine lands, just open up your doors to the rest of the world that has chosen not to do what you've done? Why would you do this?
Well, I guess the big question is, do you have a choice? Are you
Well, if you don't,
self-sustaining or by force?
well, you would be self-sustaining if you're telling me that they're the only place left with ample land that is pristine and you could create agriculture, you could do more things with it because the land is it's a temperate zone, therefore it's more fertile. They've got a lot of
Because
water.
greed is a thing. You're okay, you're a politician there, you have these pristine lands, and then you have these rich fat cats from God knows where. And I mean, let's just assume it's not by force and we're not just taking it, not us, but like any nation, Russia, whoever, it isn't just taking it for whatever reason. And they're like, yeah, how does, I don't know, $300 billion sound in aid? You need something new? Like, what do you mean? Like
Well, I
they
mean,
can
that's
be
how it's
bought
done
off
now. I mean, that's
is
how it's
one way. You're
well.
asking why would they? I don't know. They're being bought off.
Well, they're not. Well,
Why does it Amazon slashing their forests now? Like
well,
what?
I mean, but then you've got so you're right. So you've got another complicated issue because the people who would agree to that are not speaking for the people of that country. So yes, you're once again you're opening up your doors to foreign investors who are giving you billions of dollars because you're a greedy dictator. They're ignoring your dictatorship, supporting your puppet democracy because they need your land. They need your it's a symbiotic, disgusting leech filled relationship where the wealthy come in, they buy up all the property, and then you just have this underclass of poor who are doing all the servicing work for these grandiose properties and all these new farms and whatever. It sounds like a hellscape. In no way, everything you've described to me, not one piece of it sounds like some sort of a beautiful utopia that is something I would want to live in. It all sounds absolutely horrific because it's going to be manipulated in one way, shape, or form, and there's just not enough to support the overall population of this world. So there's going to be tons of people who are left out of your Garden of Eden, left to die, and then the
Oh, they're
people
going to be
with
left. Yeah, they're going to be
yeah,
left
and
in
then all right. So welcome,
uninhabitable
welcome
zones.
back to
Yeah.
Noah's Ark. Yeah, that was a great time in the Bible. You, you've got you've got a couple of people who are the chosen ones living behind the walled garden, and everyone else is just out there, dying from whatever health hath the world has concocted for itself based on how we've treated it. This sounds horrible. It sounds absolutely horrible. This scenario is just terrible. I'm happy I won't live to see it. That sounds just horrific, absolutely horrific.
That's a good answer. Now, that answers the first part. The second part, humans survive because of this habitable zone, even if it is the rich and the most influential.
Yeah.
Will future people care?
What future people? You mean who's left outside the walls?
No, future people, the people, and then the planet breaks from this era and it goes back to what are we in? Like, what's the name of this era? It's like
I don't know.
I forget the name of
I
it.
mean, it sounds like you're describing Elysium, where the people in the city become like the overlords, and then everyone who's outside is picking up trash for the rest of the like eons of the planet before it
yeah.
gets
I mean,
engulfed by the
I
sun.
guess I guess it would be sort of that, except if the people from Elysium returned to the planet and then a
And
thousand
they
years
never would.
pass, and that was a distant memory. No, but the reason why people went to these other countries is because of the climate drove them out. Now, let's say that climate goes back to what it was in, I don't know, pre-industrial age, and everything's beautiful around the planet. Everything
You'd
is
probably fight not to
manageable.
have that happen because you would lose power. You'd actively fight to make sure the planet never goes back. You would fight to make sure that it's always
Well,
a dusty
that's
wasteland. Why would you give up your power? Why would you do that?
that is
And you have
interesting.
all the
Yeah.
money and resources. You would seed the earth to make sure it stays in its deformed
That
state.
is super cynical. I don't know if that would happen.
That's exactly what would happen,
They
my
would
friend.
keep it poisoned for that reason, the whole planet.
Absolutely. Otherwise, you'd
Yeah.
give up you would lose your power, you would lose your influence, you would lose what makes you special. Why on earth would you do such a thing?
Well, because the globe is like it you'll lose out. There's I mean
You're not
the
gonna lose
ecosystem,
anything.
there's a
You got a
global
great life.
ecosystem to worry about. I mean, yeah, maybe. I don't know what
As long as you
happens.
know you can sustain it,
I
it's
don't
worth
know
it.
if you can keep that banned forever. I feel like you're gonna
why is
want
why is Florida burning trash? It's not like we have places. It's not like we can't look to our current world to say what would happen. We know exactly what happened because it's happening right now. Why is
that.
Florida burning trash despite the fact that it knows it's killing thousands upon thousands of people probably in East Asia as a result of their
So
not
what they're
being.
gonna do is they're gonna have to get rid of history. They're gonna have to like lie to people and
Well,
say
people would
like
forget. Yeah, people would forget, and that's another. Yeah, of course. That's why every dystopia
because
usually
people are
gets
gonna
rid
be
of the
like,
books.
we don't need Like we need want to return back. Like why are we still doing this? Yeah, I just
You would
that's
have some, yeah, you'd have some dissenters, and then they would have to clean. What is it? They would have to go clean.
it's such a. Did you finish it?
No,
Did you
I'm
finish
not done
Silo?
yet. We're talking
Oh,
about Silo People, which is also the book Wool. But
it's great. It's a great show.
right,
Check it
I'm
out.
just saying, you if you did dissent, you'd probably have to go clean. So good luck with that one.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, fine.